Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're looking at Benjamin Franklin, but maybe not quite the way you usually think of him. We're exploring his architecture of the American character.
That's a great way to put it. It's this blend of morality, economics, civic duty,
Yeah.
all systematically laid out.
Right. And our sources really position him not just as, a founding father figurehead, but as a kind of engineer.
Exactly. An engineer of self-made success, really. I mean, his inventions, the lightning rod, bifocals, they were always practical for public good. But maybe his biggest project was engineering a way to succeed.
Especially considering he had so little formal schooling. To go from that to this polymath figure, they called him the first American for a reason, didn't they?
He sort of created the template. Success based on rational effort, not birthright.
So let's get into that engineering project he applied to himself, this idea of moral perfection. Was it just about being good, or was there more structure to it?
Oh, it was incredibly structured, very Enlightenment. He saw character flaws almost like engineering problems you could solve, quantifiable things.
Quantifiable. How?
Well, he came up with his famous list, right? 13 virtues, and he didn't just vaguely try to follow them. He built a system.
Okay, yeah, the ledger. Let's unpack that system a bit.
He had this little book. Each virtue got its own page with days of the week, permanent ink for the lines, but he'd mark his faults each day with a pencil he could erase.
Wow. So literally tracking his mistakes daily.
Daily. And the key was the cycle. He'd focus intensely on one virtue for a whole week, temperance one week, silence the next, order after that.
So he wasn't trying to juggle all 13 at once.
No, that was the genius of it, perhaps.
Right.
1 week per virtue, 13 weeks total, meaning he'd go through the entire list 4 times a year.
That's incredibly systematic. Almost like iterative development for the soul.
It really was. Sustained effort year after year. He definitely found it tough. He wrote about that, but he stuck with it.
And what was the ultimate goal, the capstone of all this self-monitoring?
That final virtue, number 13, humility. And his definition is just fascinating. Imitate Jesus and Socrates.
So Christian ethics meets Greek philosophy.
Right. It's this blend of piety and critical self-examination. And frankly, it was probably politically smart, too, achieving great things without seeming arrogant.
Okay, so he engineers himself. How does he translate this personal system for the public? Poor Richard's Almanac comes to mind.
Absolutely. The Almanac was his way of broadcasting these ideas, turning complex philosophy into catchy proverbs, especially linking virtues like industry, diligence, and frugality, wasting nothing directly to getting ahead financially.
Which leads us to that famous saying, or maybe missaying.
Ah, yes. This is a really important correction the sources highlight. We all know a penny saved is a penny earned.
Yeah, sounds like Franklin.
It does, but it's not quite right. It actually simplifies, maybe even dumbs down, his financial thinking.
Okay, so what's the real quote?
The verified quote from the Almanac is, "A penny saved is 2 pence clear."
2 pence clear. What's the difference?
It's huge. A penny earned is just income. 2 pence clear means saving that penny does 2 things. First, you obviously still have the penny you didn't spend.
Right.
But second, you've avoided the cost or potential debt associated with getting that penny if you needed it. You're clear of the initial expense and any interest or liability. It's about capital preservation, opportunity cost, much more sophisticated.
It is much deeper. It shows that same systematic, almost balance sheet thinking he applied to his virtues.
Exactly. And he applied that same systematic thinking to building society's structures, too.
Like his civic projects, the library company, the University of Pennsylvania.
And notice the pattern there. He often set these crucial institutions up outside direct government control.
Relying on private groups, voluntary effort.
Yes. It built community buy-in, made them more stable,
Yeah.
less subject to political whims. It was like civic entrepreneurship, citizens building and running their own essential services.
Which seems to connect directly to his political philosophy, right? That famous line about liberty and safety.
It absolutely does. You really can't understand Franklin's view of government without remembering his 1755 warning. Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety.
And the connection is, if you can't manage yourself, you'll inevitably ask the government to manage you, sacrificing freedom for security.
That seems to be the core of it. For Franklin, self-reliance, that rational self-management he practiced, wasn't just personal, it was the foundation of political liberty. Fail at the personal level, and you risk decay at the political level.
So it all circles back. The Franklinian blueprint, you could call it, is about self-determination through really rigorous self-management.
Precisely. Mastery over yourself, your time, your attention, your impulses, that's the bedrock. That's the prerequisite for both freedom and, in his view, prosperity. He laid out the formula.
Which leads to maybe the most interesting and perhaps frustrating observation he made.
Yeah, his story about Father Abraham's speech in the almanac. The crowd loves the advice on hard work and saving.
And then immediately goes and does the opposite, buys frivolous things, wastes time.
Exactly. So the final thought, maybe the one Franklin himself wrestled with, is why? Why is there often such a huge gap between knowing the path industry, frugality, self-mastery, and actually walking it consistently? Something for all of us to think about.